The Invisible Tax: How Black Women Entrepreneurs Pay More and Receive Less Good. Morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing April Holt Smith, a visionary whose work has fundamentally transformed how we understand the intersection of race, gender, and entrepreneurship in America. April isn't just a researcher or advocate, she's a force of nature who has personally mentored hundreds of Black women entrepreneurs, challenging systems that were never built for their success. Her groundbreaking work has illuminated both the remarkable achievements of Black women founders and the persistent, often invisible barriers they face daily. April's faith driven approach to economic empowerment has sparked a movement that extends far beyond business. It's about healing generational wounds, building community wealth, and reimagining what true equity looks like in America's entrepreneurial landscape. Today, I want to share with you some profound insights from our conversation, insights that will challenge everything you think you know about success, resilience, and progress in America. We've all seen the headlines celebrating record numbers of Black women starting businesses. The statistics are impressive. Black women represent the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in America. These success stories fill our social media feeds. They grace magazine covers. They inspired TED Talks just like this one. But here's where April's perspective becomes so valuable, so necessary. She reveals something that fundamentally challenges how we typically think about this topic. Despite this visible rise in Black women entrepreneurs and professionals, systemic inequities remain deeply entrenched, especially in access to capital and employment stability. While women are launching businesses at record rates, they still receive less than 2% of venture funding. Let that sink in for a moment. Less than 2%. This isn't just a statistic, it's a systematic failure. It's an invisible tax on ambition. It's the cost of dreams deferred. Additionally, even as more Black women step into leadership and entrepreneurship roles, their unemployment rate has recently climbed to nearly double that of white women. This challenges the narrative that progress alone equals equity. It reminds us there's still much work ahead to truly level the playing field. As April so eloquently put it during our conversation, visibility without resources is just another form of performative inclusion. This insight forces us to ask harder questions. What good is celebrating Black women entrepreneurs if we're not equally committed to dismantling the structural barriers that make their journey unnecessarily difficult? What does it mean when we applaud resilience without addressing why so much resilience is required in the first place? Oh, let me share three key insights from April that transformed my understanding of this landscape. First, Black women's resilience is unmatched, but resilience should not be mistaken for a solution to structural barriers. We must continue advocating for systems change alongside personal growth. The strength that allows Black women entrepreneurs to overcome obstacles is admirable, but it shouldn't be necessary just to access the same opportunities others take for granted. April told me something I'll never forget. We don't need more resilience training, we need fewer reasons to be resilient. Second, visibility matters. The increasing number of successful Black female founders inspires others and helps drive cultural shifts in business. But true empowerment also requires equitable resources like funding and mentorship. Seeing yourself represented is powerful, but representation without resource allocation maintains inequality. Third, economic trends affect Black women first. When cracks appear in the economy, Black professionals, especially women, often feel it before anyone else. Their experiences serve as an early warning system for larger societal issues. Paying attention here benefits everyone. This isn't just about equity, it's about economic intelligence. These insights aren't just theoretical, they're playing out in real businesses, real lives, right now. Consider Morgan DeBaun, founder of Blavity Inc., a media tech company created by and for Black millennials. Morgan faced skepticism from investors who doubted both her vision and market potential due to her identity as a young Black woman. Rather than waiting for validation from a system designed to exclude her, she bootstrapped initial operations using digital platforms for community building before eventually securing outside investment through persistent networking. The result? Blavity became one of America's fastest growing private companies with multiple brands under its umbrella. Morgan left her corporate job after seeing few spaces centering diverse millennial voices online. She was determined not just to fill a gap, but create new opportunities for others like herself. She raised millions in venture capital despite industry odds and grew audience reach exponentially within 5 years. But here's the question April wants us to consider: why did Morgan have to work twice as hard to prove what should have been obvious? That there was a market hungry for content that spoke directly to them. Why did she have to bootstrap when similar white founded startups received millions in early funding based on concept alone? Then there's B. Dixon, who founded the Honey Pot Company after struggling with chronic health issues. She developed plant based feminine care products designed specifically for underserved consumers. B faced limited access to startup capital. That less than 2% VC funding statistic applies directly here, plus pushback from traditional retailers unfamiliar with culturally nuanced branding needs. Her solution? She utilized social media storytelling, which resonated deeply within communities, to build brand loyalty before landing major distribution deals at Target and Whole Foods. Today, the Honey Pot is a multi-million dollar company featured on national shelves across America. Bay turned personal pain into purpose when conventional solutions failed her health wise. She leveraged authenticity as both healing tool and marketing strategy simultaneously. Within 3 years, she secured national retail partnerships and was recognized among top innovative wellness brands led by women of color. But again, we must ask, why did B have to create her own path when the existing ones were blocked? Why must Black women entrepreneurs so often solve their own health problems because the market has ignored their needs? And then there's Jewel Burke Solomon, who launched Part Pick, a visual search technology startup simplifying industrial part replacement for manufacturers struggling with complex procurement processes. Jewel navigated dual hurdles of being underestimated due to both gender and race when pitching investors, even though the tech sector gender gap was narrowing only slightly at launch time. Rather than getting discouraged, she focused on building undeniable proof of concept through pilot programs with large clients rather than waiting on investor validation alone. This approach secured her over $1 million in seed investment after demonstrating real world traction. PartPick was ultimately acquired by Amazon, where Jewel became head of Google Startups US post exit. Jewel drew inspiration from firsthand experience watching family members struggle sourcing parts. a common pain point ignored by mainstream Silicon Valley circles until she spotlighted it herself. She became the first African American woman founder whose Atlanta based startup was acquired by Amazon, a milestone celebrated widely across tech press and diversity advocates alike. Her journey paved pathways into high growth tech entrepreneurship sectors historically closed off from underrepresented groups. And she continues mentoring next gen innovators today via her Google Startups US leadership role. These stories are powerful, they're inspiring, but as April emphasized in our conversation, they shouldn't be exceptional. The fact that we can name these success stories individually points to their rarity, and that's the problem. What these stories reveal is a profound truth about innovation in America. We are systematically underutilizing the brilliant minds and entrepreneurial spirit of Black women. And that doesn't just hurt Black women, it hurts our entire economy, our collective potential for innovation, our shared future. April shared something during our interview that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. She said, when Black women succeed despite the system, it's remarkable. Imagine what they could accomplish with a system designed for their success. This isn't just about fairness, though fairness matters deeply. It's about unlocking the full potential of our economy and society. It's about recognizing that the barriers facing Black women entrepreneurs aren't just their problem, they're everyone's problem. So, where do we go from here? April offers several pathways forward. For investors, examine your portfolio. If less than 2% of your investments go to women of color, ask yourself why. Challenge your pattern recognition. Expand your networks. Recognize that your gut feeling about founders might be shaped by biases you're not even aware of. For consumers, your dollars have power. Seek out and support Black women owned businesses. Share their stories. Be intentional about where you spend. For entrepreneurs, mentor others, share resources, build networks of mutual support. As April said, the traditional paths weren't built for us, so we're creating our own highways for everyone. Recognize that resilience is admirable, but shouldn't be required. Challenge systems, not just symptoms. Ask the uncomfortable questions about why certain groups face more barriers than others. As we move toward a more equitable entrepreneurial landscape, April reminds us that this work isn't just economic, it's deeply personal and spiritual for many Black women entrepreneurs. Their businesses often emerge from wounds transformed into purpose, from community needs recognized because they've experienced them firsthand. I want to leave you with this challenge. What if we stopped celebrating extraordinary resilience and started demanding ordinary access? What if we recognized that the invisible tax paid by Black women entrepreneurs isn't just their burden to bear, it's our collective loss? Today, I'm asking you to do more than applaud these stories of triumph against the odds. I'm asking you to change the odds. Invest differently, hire differently, mentor differently, shop differently, question differently. Because, in the words April shared from her favorite scripture, we are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. The story of Black women's entrepreneurship in America is still being written. And it's not just their story to write, it's ours. Will we continue to tax their dreams with barriers and biases? Or will we finally build the systems where their brilliance can flourish without extraordinary resilience being the price of admission? The choice is ours, and the time to choose is now. Thank you.